Hello and welcome to Sound Test. This is Brian here, and I'm doing a casual review of J. Cole's newest album, The Off Season. So for casual reviews, these are mostly unscripted. I just have a little bit of notes for the actual album itself, just kind of talking points, things that I thought about it, things I just kind of want to, discuss or talk about. So as I'm going through this, I'm just going to kind of play through each track and just give my basic opinions on it. Because this is YouTube, I'm obviously not going to play the track for you, the viewer, to hear for copyright reasons. But I'm going to be hearing it on my end. I'm just going to kind of talk through that. All right, so this album, I'm recording this as of today of May 14th, 2021. So this album is like fresh off. Like this album just came out today, like literally midnight today. And yeah, it's been long, like hyped up. Like it has been long awaited for this album. Originally it was called The Fall Off, but changed the title to The Off Season. So I think it kind of lives up to the hype. Just first impressions, like it does live up to the hype. I've been playing this on repeat all day. Okay, I've been playing this on repeat all day. I'm a big fan of J. Cole, so that's not a surprise anyway. But yeah, this album is solid, man. It's real solid. Let's start with first song, 95 South. So again, I'm hearing it, not you, but yeah, starts off kind of dramatic-ish, and this song is basically, Cole kind of coming in like real hard, a lot of times Cole will have like a very, like a piano intro, something like very, kind of chill, but he came in hard, like right off the back with 95 South. One of my favorite lyrics he has, put an M right on your head, you Luigi brother now. That's dope. And kind of like this song is kind of like it's like a prelude to like what's the style, kind of like the different styles on this album. One, this album is like super bass heavy, like stupid bass heavy. Like if you have subs, this song is going to sound nice. I played this on my speaker system here with a Sony sub, and that junk is knocking, boy. I played it in my car. That junk is knocking, boy. So if you have some nice subs, this whole album is gonna ride. And at the end of the song, bruh, Lil Jon comes in, and like that, like it is like early 2000s Lil Jon, man. It's like just straight up crunk juice Lil Jon, man. And like it's hype. Like that junk is hype. It caught me off guard, but that junk is hype. After that, we got Amari, and I ain't gonna lie, to me this is like the weakest song on the whole album. It starts off kind of like with this guitar loop, and he's just like auto-tuned through a lot of it, and like for whatever reason Cole does do a lot of auto-tune in this album. I ain't a fan of it. He's done auto-tune stuff before, but I'm not a real fan of it. He did a lot in KOD, but I felt that was more for the style of KOD itself. But yeah, Amari's all right. It's forgettable. The little hums that he does at the beginning of it does remind me of another song he was on. What did I put? Tribe with Boz, because he kind of like hums the hook to that, and I was like, it kind of got some vibes of that, but like the rest of the song doesn't really sound like that. It's very trap heavy on this song. Third track though, My Life, boy. This is probably like my favorite song off this album. So it's with Moray and 21 Savage. Now, I'm not a 21 Savage fan. I don't really like listen to his stuff, but his verse on here is nice. I like his verse on here. And like the vibes of the song gives me like a lot. Like the song a lot. Which was Cole and 21 Savage. Like the beat is chill, but that junk is like pounding though. Like it's chill enough where you can ride out and you know, not like be super hyped up, but it still give you that energy, give you that pulse. Cole's verse is great on here. 21 Savage verse is great on here. And like it's hype. It's hype but chill at the same time. It's definitely one of my favorite songs off this album. One of the lines I like from Cole was, "Noah's on site when I see you. I'm working like at Squarespace." That's funny. And 21 got a verse too. One of my favorite lines on here. "I got a good heart, so I send teddy bears every time we make their moms cry." That junk's funny as well. And so yeah, another thing about this, with this song, you kind of realize that Cole is finally like having features on this. You know, the last three of Cole's albums really didn't have no features. And if he did have like a feature, they would be like on the hook. But for the most part, he's just been doing stuff like straight just him, you know. And he hasn't had really people been like featured on his albums in terms of verses. So 21 Savage has a verse on here. Lil Baby has a verse on here. 6 Lack got a verse on here. It's not a lot, but still, it's way more than what we typically see from Cole. So moving on, Applying Pressure is dope. Not too much to say about it. It's a nice track. The production on this album is kind of a step up from KOD, and definitely a step up from For Your Eyes Only. And you know, it's like, especially this song, like some of these songs, they actually kind of give me Damn vibes from Kendrick Lamar's album, latest album. And parts of that album's philosophy I kind of feels is within the off season. And what I say about that is, Damn was a very short album, you know, and Off Season is a real short album. Like as you see on here, it's 39 minutes for this whole album, 12 tracks, and so it's a slim album, boy. But all of it works really well. Like it's essentially all the fat been trimmed off. Like the worst of the tracks is Amari. Everything else is pretty much a banger. Like everything else hits, and everything else hits hard, man. And you know, some of these tracks are legitimately just like intro, verse, outro, and we're out. Like there's no elongated things. There's some with a little bit of an outro, like a more in-depth outro, but it just kind of helps enhance that one, you know, that one or two particular songs. But just looking at these track links, man, a lot of these tracks are real short. What else we got? Punch the Clock is another good track. Another one of my favorite tracks though is 100 Mil. Man, Cole goes hard on this one. Yeah, he does a real good job on this one. And you know, I was talking to like a few people, and you know, they were asking like, you know, what is the better album? Like is this Cole's best album since 2014 Forest Hills Drive? And I do like KOD, I really do. But I do think this album is a little bit over KOD. Now, is it over 2014 Forest Hills Drive? No. to me personally, is not topping Forest Hills Drive. But this feels like a more, the off season kind of feels like different elements of Cole coming together. So, you know, KOD was kind of like, I don't want to say like necessarily experimental, but KOD was more so, you know, he's trying to prove a point with very heavy trap stuff, and he was playing these different characters, different roles. And, you know, For Your Eyes Only, I always felt that For Your Eyes Only wasn't necessarily like a album for the masses. That was just something for him creatively, you know. That was For Your Eyes Only was something that he just kind of needed to get out. You know, he was becoming a father, and he was like going through this different changes in his life, and that's what, you know, that's what For Your Eyes Only was. It was an album for him. But if we're talking about like straight bangers, the off season is way more consistent than those other two albums, than For Your Eyes Only and KOD. And that's not downplaying those two albums. I really like those albums more. KOD moreover, so For Your Eyes Only. But parts of what the off season does that I like is that, yeah, you get wide versions of Cole. Like, you hear some tracks on here and you be like, oh, that's like Born Sinner. You hear some tracks on here, oh, that's like 2014 Forest Hill Drive. You hear some tracks on here and it's like KOD, or you hear some tracks and it's like For Your Eyes Only. Like, he has a wide variety of like his styles on play here. And, you know, you get the songs like He's Cocky, like 100 Mil, He's Cocky. And that outro on 100 Mil, that's about like 2 minutes in, and you have this like nice chorus. Like, that's what I'm saying, like, it gives you straight up Born Sinner vibes when he has like kind of incorporated these church elements or these like layered voices stuff. So before I move on, just a few of my favorite lines. On Punching the Clock, I got more cribs than Habitat for Humanity. I think on that same track, told him to come off his chain for trying to floss, died over a cross like the start of Christianity. That's dope too. Let's see, moving on. Pride is the Devil. That's what I'm listening to now. I'm here now. Yeah, another dope song. This is kind of like him not necessarily being conscious, but him just kind of like telling stories, you know. And he's basically saying how pride is like the fall of people, and you know, how we do things out of the sake of pride. It may not be things we want to do, but we're doing it to show, you know, we ain't weak, or you know, showing we ain't punks and stuff like that. Yeah, it's a straight track, and again, it feels like something I would hear off of For Your Eyes Only, you know, with just one of those songs with like a bigger message, you know. Another really good track on here is Let Go My Hand. Like, this whole track is so nice. Like, his flow through this is like effortless, and if I'm not mistaken, this is just like pretty much like one big verse. And it's just real stuff going through it, you know. This is a good track. What else? Oh yeah, the outro in this song, it starts around 3:40. And get to it. Yeah, so this outro, man, oh my gosh, it is like, it's musical, man. And this is like, you have a kind of jazz piano going on with like kind of like ambiance stuff going on, a lot of muted voices and sounds, just huge resonance and just space, boy. And you just have this jazz piano going just effortlessly, dog. And like, that junk is so nice. Hearing that junk with good headphones, nice sound system, and you hear and feel the space what's going on. Yeah, man. And like, that's what I'm saying. That's when you get one of those kind of like Born Sinner or Forest Hill Drive vibes, where you kind of have that space, you know. Interlude is fine. That's a nice track. Climb Back. That's another good track. What else? So on the Climb Back, I do like the part towards the end, and he was like, Cole's like, you know, they got a suicide hotline, but what about a hotline for when people want to commit homicide? And he was like, you know, I wish there was a line somewhere where people could call when they about to shoot up or about to kill somebody. And you know, yeah, it's a funny, like, you know, comparison, but I mean, he's essentially talking about mental health. It's essentially like, you know, if we can help those who are on the brink of suicide, why can't we help those who are on the brink of killing somebody? Like, clearly, if somebody's gotten to that point where they're going to kill, they need some help. They need that you know, they need that influence. They need that voice of reason. And you know, a lot of Cole's stuff is going to be based off of stuff that happens in the hood. And you know, a lot of his songs are just thinking about if things were happened differently in the hood, and you know, if there wasn't so much violence. And like, this is just one of those like little sprinkles of, you know, kind of consciousness that he's putting in there of you know, just think about it, how we could change that. And you know, he's just doing it in his own way. Close, that's another great song, another great track. And again, Close kind of feels like something we heard off of Born Center, you know, and it kind of sound like something you would hear off of Forest Hill Drive too. Kind of like just one of those in between tracks. But the album ends on Hunger on Hillside, and I really like this track. Now, this is one of the few songs that I kind of wish were just more of. Like, I wish that there was more of this song. And sometimes Cole has those tracks towards the end where they're much longer, and like the beat is extended, and there's going, you know, a lot's going on. And you know, like this track right here, just feel like it'll be perfect off of Forest Hill Drive, because it starts with this nice, you know, string sample, and Cole has just like this, I don't know, when he mixes with these like looping, very melodic beats, man, that junk help, like it helps his style so much. And like, I feel like he's constantly kind of looking for beats that are like very melodic, that you can hear like this, like many different notes going on, uses of instruments. And you know, the little string sample, dee 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 dee, and like Cole's done this before where he'll take that, he'll take that element and he'll put that in the hook. And so like in the song, later in the song, he layers that with vocals like singing over that little melody. Ooh, whoa. And he has people singing over that melody, like, and that's like one of the things I really like about Cole. He keeps on trying to add different elements to it. It's not, sometimes it's not just the beat. It is like what the message of the beat is, or what the musical aspect of that beat is. And I love how he usually infuses his hooks into the beats, or the like background elements and background vocals, and how he puts all that stuff together. But yeah, I've listened to this album a lot today. I didn't listen to it right at midnight, but I listened to it as soon as I woke up this morning, and I've just been playing it on repeat all day. Just listen to the lines, listen to the production, and yeah, it's solid. So where do I put this in context of his other albums? You know, maybe I'm just a stan. I just love 2014 Forest Hill Drive. Like almost like pretty much every track on that album is just like stellar. Like every track on there is my favorite track. And you know, it's hard to, for me personally, it's hard to top Forest Hill Drive. So for me, fall off the off season, I keep on saying the fall off. The off season. It's somewhere neck and neck with Born Center. Yeah, I'll say that. It's kind of neck and neck with Born Center. I think KOD is a little bit under Born Center and the off season. And I'm kind of constantly fighting between where Sideline Story and For Your Eyes is. Because there's some good tracks on For Your Eyes Only, and is a very personable Cole. He is a very like raw emotional Cole For Your Eyes Only, but Sideline Story has some great tracks on it, but some of them are dated. You kind of listen back to that album, and you're just like, yeah, it sounds like early 2010s. But off season, yeah, it, of course, my perception is gonna change over time and all that, but yeah, I really like this album, man. It's really solid. It's lean. It's 39 minutes. You can quickly get through it, but it's a hard hitting 39 minutes, boy. And it's been a little minute since we had a Cole record, but yeah, he still proves why he's one of the best in the game. This is still a testament to his skill set, and even though KOD was just like kind of this own separate thing, the off season is his proof that he's still in this. And like one of my favorite aspects, like Cole, he'll be cocky, but then he can back it up. But then on top of that, he knows that he can still advance. He can still push himself. And like songs like 100 Mil, he's like, yeah, I got all this, but I still ain't stopping, and he's constantly trying to top his old stuff. So yeah, that's the review. That's my review for off season. It might be a little bit biased because I'm a big Cole fan, so take that as you will. But off season, very solid album from him, and I'm we're always hungry to hear more Cole. I'm curious if he's going to continue with this trend of just like shorter albums, trim the fat, make it hard hitting, and make it something that's endlessly playable. Because like I probably because I've heard his album a lot. There was a few tracks like, yeah, they're okay, yeah, it's good, it's fine, but I'm not gonna skip them. Like, I'm not gonna skip Interlude. I'm not gonna skip Pride is the Devil. I'm not gonna skip Punching the Clock. They're great tracks. They're not the most standout tracks to me, but they're still great tracks. I'm not gonna skip them. In terms of my favorite tracks, My Life, 100 Mil, Let Go My Hand, Hunger on Hillside, Close, and I'll throw in there Applying Pressure as well. And 95 South. 95 South is really dope. 95 South is a good way to start this album. So yeah, that was my impressions of the off season. J. Cole's newest album came out as I'm recording this today, May 14th, 2021. Hope you enjoyed it. If this is your first time here, this is Sound Test. This is my channel where I go through music and gaming, primarily hip hop. So if you enjoyed this, hey, check out some of my other stuff, and appreciate your time.